3 years ago, I made the decision to switch from one of the major phone carriers to Mint Mobile. A move that was purely influenced by just how much money I was going to save. See, I was paying $85 a month for an unlimited plan that included unlimited talk, text, and web. And while the service was good and I got some cool perks with it, I still thought there might be something a little bit better. A quick Google search and I found Mint Mobile, a company that I had never heard of before that promised unlimited talk, text, and web for $30 a month. And that's not even including the $15 a month package that they had. And now 3 years later, folks, I've been a very happy customer with Mint Mobile. Mostly some pros, some cons, and some things that I'll point out in this video. But if you've ever been interested about learning more about Mint Mobile and whether or not they are the right carrier for you, then this video might be for you. Hi everyone, and welcome to Arc Overload. And yes, I switched to Mint Mobile 3 years ago. Now there's some things that I've experienced in those 3 years that I want to highlight, and the things that I've liked about having Mint Mobile, and the things that have gotten on my nerves just a little bit. First and foremost, I was convinced that once Mint Mobile was acquired by T-Mobile, the price was gonna go up. That $30 a month or that $15 a month, it was too good to be true. Mint Mobile would get in there, they would add some stuff, and they would justify the need to make it $40 a month, $45 a month. But no, much to my surprise, the price has stayed exactly the same throughout. You still have your $15 tier portion, your $20 tier, and your $30 tier in the unlimited package. So for me, I've been a user of the unlimited tier the entire time. We're talking unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited web. Now, as far as talk and text is concerned, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that throughout the 3 years that I've had the phone, I have very rarely had situations where my text messages didn't go through because I was like in some super woodsy areas. Other than that, my phone calls go through all the time. I never get a dropped call. Everyone hears me just fine. My text messages go through all the time with no issues, whether they're blue bubbles or green bubbles, it doesn't matter. And finally, the web. Now, the one thing you have to remember is that Mint Mobile piggybacks off of T-Mobile's network. In fact, it's one of the reasons why it's so cheap, because it doesn't have its own towers. It's using T-Mobile's towers. And another reason why it's so cheap is because it doesn't have any stores for you to walk into, to be sold to be convinced that you should get this phone as opposed to this phone, this plan as opposed to this plan. Everything is just online for you to decide whether or not you want it or not. And if you do, then they'll give you an eSIM number through the app, or they'll send you a physical SIM card. That's why the cost is so low. But talking about those T-Mobile networks, as long as you live in an area where T-Mobile gives you good coverage, your internet usage is going to be just fine. Now, I live in Northern California, and I just want to show you real quick that I am on the Mint Mobile service and I have my Wi-Fi turned off. I'm going to run a speed test real quick, and I want you to see how fast the speed is. All right, I got 64.3 megabits per second of download speed and 5.99 megabits per second of upload speed. Not the fastest in the world, but super reliable if I want to stream music, if I want to get directions, if I want to do anything like that. This works just fine. And let me tell you, on all the car rides that I've gone on all the trips that I've done, and I drive quite a bit, and I'm streaming YouTube videos in the background, I'm listening to music on YouTube Music, I am listening to podcasts, I'm getting directions on Apple Maps. Never, and I mean never, have I had an issue where Mint Mobile has not been able to reliably allow me to play the songs that I want to listen to, allow me to listen to the podcasts I want to listen to, or give me the directions that I want in an efficient time. So we're talking no drop calls, text messages go through, and the data is awesome. And there's some parts, and like right now, yeah, it's a little low, but there's moments where I'm like at a coffee shop or I'm at an airport or something like that, where the Mint Mobile web service is faster than the Wi-Fi that I'm getting at the airport. It's faster than the Wi-Fi that I'm getting at the coffee shop. So to me, it's a win. One of the other benefits of Mint Mobile that I've experienced is international roaming. Roaming was considered anything outside of the US. If you went to Canada or Mexico or beyond the United States in general, it was considered roaming, and you would have to purchase what they call a Minternational pass. Get it? That would allow you to buy minutes and or days of service for you to use abroad. Canada is now free. So if you travel to Canada, you will have your Mint Mobile service in Canada as well. Remember, with T-Mobile, if you travel to Canada or Mexico, you still have T-Mobile, so you don't have to worry about it. So they've added that service to Mint Mobile when you go to Canada, but not Mexico. But if you still want to go abroad outside of the US and Canada, you can purchase what's called a Minternational pass. And for one day, you get 60 minutes of talk, 60 SMS messages, and 1 gigabyte of data. That's $5. All it is just $5. So if you're traveling for one day, this might do it for you. If you need a 3-day pass, you'll get 200 minutes of talk, 200 SMS messages, and 3 gigabytes of data. And finally, the one that I've always gone with is the $20 package. This is a 10-day pass. This gets you 500 minutes of talk, 500 SMS messages, and 10 gigabytes of data, which I think is more than enough over the course of 10 days. If you're traveling, especially you're staying at a hotel or you're traveling or whatever, you can rely on Wi-Fi from other public places. You don't necessarily have to use Mint's Wi-Fi the entire time that you're traveling. $20 to me is not a huge expenditure, especially when back in the day you were kind of beholden to just calling your mobile provider, Verizon, at&t, whoever, say, hey, I'm traveling for the next 6 days. And then they would give you like a discounted rate, but you wouldn't know how much you were going to get charged until you were done with your trip and you'd come back and you see your phone bill and be like, oh my God, I had to pay like $150 for all this stuff that I did while I was traveling abroad. The benefit of something like this is that once it expires, it expires. Or once you've reached your limit, you've reached your limit and it cuts off. You can purchase another one as long as you're on Wi-Fi to get another 3 days or a day or whatever. The downside is you can't pay per data or you can't pay per minutes. You have to pay for this 1 day, 3 day, or 10-day package, but that's not the end of the world. They also do have a 30-day package that's only $5. You get 100 minutes, 100 SMS messages, but no data at all whatsoever. You're beholden to Wi-Fi. So if that works for you, it's there for $5, but if not, for me, I've always gone for the $20 option. I've traveled to Mexico a few times and Spain using this service, and it's been wonderful. It's been enough for me to get, again, GPS through Apple Maps, or to make a phone call, or to use WhatsApp or anything like that when I don't have Wi-Fi. So this is a wonderful thing to have. And again, for $20, peace of mind, knowing that over the course of 10 days, I'm only paying $20 more than what I would usually pay to get that international roaming. That's a win. One of the things I don't like is this app. So this app is basically how you go about changing which phone you're going to have with Mint Mobile, ordering a new line, changing your plan, anything like that. The reason why I don't like this is because there's been a number of times where I've entered my password and for whatever reason, it locks me out of the app for an entire hour. The amount of times I've had to change my password on Mint Mobile, even though I knew for a fact I was entering the right password, I've lost count. How many times I get into this app, I enter my password and it says, oops, we weren't able to log you in. You've tried too many times, now you gotta wait an hour. And I can't tell you how inconvenient that is. Now, when I try to do it on the desktop, no problem, but for some reason on the app, and I've talked to customer service about this and they've acknowledged that sometimes the app does run into issues like that, where like legitimately I couldn't get into Mint Mobile using the app. And there are times where like I wanted to change something very specifically and I had to do it in the app and I could not do it. It was super frustrating. So the app to me still needs some fine tuning and needs some finagling. I'm not the biggest fan of the app. But then again, you can kind of get into the app and see everything that you need to see. You can chat with a chatbot, you can talk with customer service, all that kind of lovely stuff. One of the pros of Mint Mobile was the ability to upgrade my device through Mint Mobile directly. So when the iPhone 17 Pro came out, I was very much in the lane of always purchasing a phone that was unlocked from Apple directly and then connecting it to my phone carrier, which was Mint Mobile at the time. And I've changed my phone a few times through Mint Mobile, which has never been a problem. It's been super easy to do, especially when you go from iPhone to iPhone. You literally put the two iPhones next to one another. It finds the data, it finds the number, it ports it over by itself. You don't even need to go through Mint Mobile to do that. When I wanted to get the 17 Pro, it was one of those situations where like, well, the Apple Store is sold out or I don't want to wait 4 months to get it or anything like that. I was able to get it through Mint Mobile in a few days, just going through them and buying it outright. Now it's still an unlocked phone. It's not necessarily locked to Mint Mobile, but I did get it through them, and through Affirm, I'm able to even pay monthly payments on it without paying any interest at all whatsoever for 18 months. So to me, that was also a huge win. A couple other things that Mint has announced in the last few years is the ability to bring Mint's internet to your home and make it your home internet provider, very much like T-Mobile does as well. So you can get a hub that provides Mint Mobile internet to your home for super cheap. Now that's something that I haven't tried myself, but again, I showed you the speeds that I was getting in my home through my phone. And if those are speeds that you're okay with to get in your home or your business, then it's something I think definitely worth checking out. Now, one of the downsides of Mint Mobile, and I alluded earlier to in this video, is that there are no physical locations. And the reason why that's a downside is because as far as customer service goes, you're basically stuck to either a phone call or the chatbot on the Mint Mobile website or the app. So there's no other way for you to get help. You can't go into a store and have a customer service representative help you out or anything like that. It has to be done over the phone or it has to be done over the app. The other downside is that you pay everything in advance. So yes, it's $30 a month, but you're not paying them $30 every month. You're actually paying them a lump sum at the beginning of the year if you want to do the 12-year contract for the unlimited. If you want to get the lowest price, you pay them 12 months up front. So in my case, $360 plus tax to get a full year's worth of service. The benefits of that is like, I don't have to think about it for a year. My phone bill is paid for, I'm done. The downside of that is I'm dropping $370-ish, including tax, just for a phone bill. And some people might not be able to drop that much cash at that time. The one thing that I would say in support of paying all of that money up front is that when you do the math in comparison to what you were paying before, you are saving a ton of money. $360 sounds like a lot of money, but when you go back to what I was paying back in the day for AT&T, $360 is about 5 months worth of phone bills that I was paying, maybe about 4 to 4.5 months worth of phone bills. So instead of paying that amount in 4 months, I'm paying it at the beginning, but now for the next 12 months, I don't have to think about it. What's the other downside of that? There's no bill. There's no bill that you get that's sent to your house that says, hey, this month you talked this much and you sent this many text messages and you used this much data and we charged you this much. Why is that a downside? Because if you ever need proof of address for the DMV or trying to get a loan or anything like that, you need proof of address. And you can use proof of address through your mobile carrier like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, etc. You cannot do it with Mint Mobile because Mint Mobile does not give you a bill. And it's a very nitpicky thing, but it's a real life conundrum that you won't be able to solve because you won't have that physical bill. A huge plus is that with the unlimited plan, you get 20 gigs of hotspot data for you to use whenever you want. Now, this has come in very handy for me, again, being in those situations where I was at an airport or I was at a coffee shop, or even I was at home without any power and I needed to access Wi-Fi on my laptop or anything like that. I can hotspot to my phone very easily. I actually did it on a plane one time where I realized I forgot to download this app that I really wanted to download before the plane took off. Grabbed my iPad, hotspotted it to my phone, downloaded the app that I needed on the iPad, and then I was ready to go. So the hotspot is key in those emergency situations, especially when you're getting good, decent, solid internet from Mint Mobile. And to get 20 gigs of it at no additional charge with the unlimited plan, to me, is amazing. Mint Mobile also has a ton of other features that I won't list in this video, but you can check it out on their website, which I'll link in the description box below. And as someone who's been using them for 3 years, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that for the most part, I'm a very, very happy customer. I'm thrilled that I made the change 3 years ago. I've saved a ton of money in the process, and I have no plans of leaving anytime soon. And listen, if you're interested in trying out Mint Mobile, I will leave you a referral link in the description box below. You can save yourself some money by using that link. Until next time, this is Arc Overload. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.